Póngase su máscara antes de ayudar a otras personas. Recuerde leer la tarjeta de seguridad que está en el bolsillo delante de su asiento. Si tiene alguna pregunta, la tripulación está para ayudarlos. Gracias por su atención.
In this episode, we're going to La Paz in Bolivia. First, we're going around the city or over the city in what's called the most spectacular public transport system on the planet. Then we're going to what is called the most dangerous road on the planet. Yeah, we're going to Death Road. And then we finish the best way possible by flying on a 1.5 kilometer zip line, more than 400 meters above a valley. My name is Palle Bo. This is the Radio Vagabond, episode 224.
Meet Palle Bo, a full-time traveler and digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. This is the Radio Vagabond.
Fui en Buenos Aires, es muy frío aquí.
Ah, sí, mucho frío.
Mucho frío aquí. En Buenos Aires, mucho calor.
Caliente.
This episode is brought to you in part by this website called hotels25.com. If you're a regular listener, you have heard me mention this before, and I can't say this enough. This is a cool website. It helps you find the cheapest hotel rooms around the world. Hotels25.com. You should try it out. It actually works.
I've arrived to La Paz, the capital of Bolivia. It's 10 p.m. and even though I am totally downtown, more or less everything is closed. But I did manage to find a small street vendor. It was two old ladies sitting on some tiny chairs and a small pop-up shop on the sidewalk to buy some water and a cola. So that will get me through till the morning. I'm tired, so I'm probably gonna crash pretty soon. And the apartment itself is so tiny you would not believe it. It's probably one of the smallest apartments and crummiest apartments, frankly, I've been in on my trip. But that's okay. I'm gonna stay here 3 nights and then head on to see some more. But it'll work out. It'll work out. The thing people told me before coming here is that you will probably feel that the air is thin here. It is the highest, as far as I know, the highest capital in the world. It's the 8th highest city in the world. It's in 11,900 feet above sea level. So you can feel it's the air is thin here. If you walk a lot, you get quicker out of breath, and it's cold. It's much colder than Buenos Aires and any of the places I've been in since I landed in Brazil. So for the first time in a very, very long time, I've made use of my jacket, and I'm looking forward to exploring Bolivia. This is going to be amazing.
If you're listening to this and are a bit of a geek, you might say, hang on, Mr. Bo, La Paz is not the capital of Bolivia. That's Sucre. Well, yes and no. Let's just get some facts straight.
And now, facts about where we are.
La Paz is the de facto capital of Bolivia. It's the seat of the government as well as the legislative and executive capital. The constitutional capital of Bolivia, yeah, that's Sucre, and they remain the judicial power. La Paz is in west-central Bolivia, 68 kilometers, 42 miles, southeast of Lake Titicaca. With an estimated 816,000 residents, La Paz is the third most populous city in Bolivia. Its metropolitan area, with a population of 2.3 million, makes it the most populous urban area in Bolivia. Overlooking the city is towering triple-peaked Illimani Mountains. Its peaks are always snow-covered and can be seen from many parts of the city. In May 2015, it was officially recognized as one of the new 7 Wonder Cities. At an elevation of roughly 3,650 meters, 11,975 feet above sea level, La Paz is, as mentioned, the highest capital city in the world.
And that was Facts About Where We Are. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
La Paz is also home to the largest urban cable car network in the world. And it's really something special. It's called Mi Teleférico in Spanish, which translates to My Cable Car. It's an aerial cable car urban transport system, and the first line was opened in 2014. Now the system consists of 26 stations along 10 lines. One more line and extensions are in construction. Based on its master plan, the completed system, which is built by the Austrian company Doppelmayr, is intended to reach a length of 33.8 kilometers, 21 miles, with 11 lines and 30 stations. While other urban transit cable cars, like the Metro cable system in Medellin, Colombia, is something that works as a little extra add-on to existing transit systems. Well, La Paz is the first to use cable cars as the backbone of its urban transit network. Before My Cable Car, it was both expensive and time-consuming to move around the city in the chaotic traffic with both environmental and noise pollution. Each line has a maximum capacity of 6,000 passengers per hour. Each car seats 10 passengers. Cars depart every 12 seconds. And the network is open 17 hours a day. It moves around 250,000 passengers a day. And then it's crazy cheap. A ticket is only 3 Boliviano, or less than 50 cents. The locals can get it even cheaper using smart tickets. The system connects La Paz to the neighboring city El Alto, where I'm heading right now with my good friend Alex. The two cities are separated by a steep slope about 400 meters tall, 1,300 feet, which were previously only connected by windy, congested roads. Now we're floating high above this and get to see La Paz from a different angle. My Cable Car has become a must for all visitors to the city, and not only is it good for the locals and the environment, it's also now a major tourist attraction.
I think we're going to eat with our fingers, Alex. Yeah.
Which is okay with me.
La Paz is built in the mountains, so it's very much up and down, and they have a great system of small sky trams. And we ended up way up here in the mountains and found a market that we've been walking around in, and right now we're at a very local dining experience. We just ordered some chicken that they fried.
Chicken chicharrón.
What?
Chicken chicharrones.
Okay.
And it's gracias.
Gracias.
We had the pork one before the sandwich, but the chicken looks good.
That's
Super
very good.
local.
It's very good.
2 red plastic cups.
It's tiny plastic cups. Yeah.
We're gonna have chicken with our fingers.
It's gonna be amazing.
I made a little video of my trip from La Paz to El Alto, high above the city. Find it on the RadioVagabond.com.
Coming up later in this episode.
When we come back, we're going to Death Road.
You are listening to the Radio Vagabond. We'll continue in just a bit.
One of my recent episodes has become the most downloaded episode ever. It was the first episode of this season and was from El Salvador. And after that, I got 3 emails from listeners in that small Central American country that you shouldn't skip. The first one is from Juan Cortez. Hi there, I'm a newcomer and certainly like your podcast. I envy your globetrotting and your stories. Thank you for putting in a good word for my country, El Salvador. Good and safe travels. I'll keep listening. Juan. Muchos gracias, Juan. Glad you liked the episode and to have you on board as a new Radio Vagabond listener. You have a lot of catching up to do, so start binging. Another short one is from Maria Rodriguez. I'm glad you visited El Salvador. My country is so beautiful. I hope you can go again and visit Surf City at the beach. Oh, I did. In fact, I was in El Tunco right at the time when the World Championship of Surfing took place. I have more to share on that in an upcoming episode. And the third one from a listener in El Salvador goes like this. Hola, my name is Tom Cornelius. My wife and I had lived in El Salvador since May 2017. We came here as missionaries and decided to stay. Your story is good and touches many of El Salvador's high points, but even after 5 years, we have not explored the many natural beauties so near to us. We hope you were able to visit Lago de Coatepeque, one of the most beautiful sights that I have ever seen in my 69 years. You're correct about the coffee. I love visiting different coffee fincas or farms. I always buy from these. So many things to see and do, always inexpensive and always a treat for the senses, like the many thermal hot springs. I hope you continue your travels and continue to enjoy the natural beauty that you encounter. Just te bendiga, Tom. Bless you too, Tom. Yes, I did visit Lago de Coatepeque. I'm still not sure I'm saying that right. And I totally agree, it is stunning. To those of you who don't know, it's an almost circular round lake that is in what used to be a volcanic crater. I did a day trip from San Salvador to Santa Ana, and this was where we stopped for lunch. That's also something I'll be sharing in an upcoming episode. Juan, Maria, and Tom, thank you to all three of you for reaching out.
You can also send a few lines to Palabo and get featured on the show. Tell him where you are and what you're doing right now as you're listening to these words. Just click on Contact on theradiovagabond.com and fill out the form. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
If you Google the most dangerous road in the world, I'm pretty sure that you'll see pictures of a mountain road just outside of La Paz here in Bolivia. And that's where I'm going right now. It's 7:30 in the morning, and a lot of people are doing this on a mountain bike. The air is thin. I don't know if I'm fit enough to do it, and then it's pretty dangerous. So I'm doing it on a bus ride with my good friend Alex. And like I said, it's 7:30, and we're meeting the rest of the group here at a cafe called Higher Ground.
Yungas Road, also known as Death Road, Ruta de la Muerte in Spanish. It was named in 1995 as it was the world's most dangerous road. There are reports that nearly 300 people were killed on this road every year until 1994.
Okay guys, so that's today's group. Good morning everybody. So if you didn't catch my name, I'm Noel. It's easy to remember, right? It's Christmas. This guy over here is Kenny, as we call him. Yes.
So Death Road got its name because of the high death rate. Well, some say that it's also from the many Paraguayan prisoners of war that died during the construction of the road back in the 1930s.
We're at this high point where they're going to start the bike ride down, and we're in the mountains. 4,000, I can hardly breathe. 4,700 meters above sea level. And the air is thin here. Literally, I can look down and see clouds. Right where I am now, there's a Christ statue that looks a little bit like the one in Rio de Janeiro, only this one is a lot smaller. My God, what a view. What a view. I'm gonna take some photos now, and I'll put them on the radiovagabond.com. So when you hear this, you should be able to go and see those photos. Wow, and there's gonna be a lot more, I'm sure.
They have amazing brakes, actually.
Now it draws around 25,000 tourists per year and is a major La Paz tourist attraction.
So, yeah, we have a safety briefing at the top. We're gonna spend up there like 15 minutes, 20 minutes max. And then we'll start cycling downhill until we get to 1,100 meters from 4.7. So imagine the difference is really big. It's normally really cold at the beginning, and it's really hot at the end usually, because it's a subtropical rainforest. So we go through different climates, and it changes a lot actually. Obviously we're gonna make a lot of stops on the way, guys. So the stops that we do are especially to regroup, that way we can stick together. But we choose the best places to stop on the way, okay? We already know the spots for...
Unlike the rest of the country, traffic here is on the left side of the road to allow the drivers to have a clear view of the distance of their outer wheel from the edge of the road.
So, welcome to Death Road. As you know, this used to be the main connection between La Paz and all the north of Bolivia. So before they opened the new road, all this traffic we saw used to be on this road right here. As you see at the moment, there is not anymore that much traffic. Most of the drivers prefer to take the new road, but at the moment this road is still open for traffic. Anybody who would like to can drive here.
Okay, now we're at the entrance to Death Road itself. The first half of the tour so far has been on paved roads, and it's been very nice. From here on, it's going to be gravel. It's going to be these insane drops, and yeah, now we're getting into Death Road itself. The last piece of road up to here has been uphill, so almost all of the group, they jumped into the car and their bikes were loaded onto the roof. Now they're unloading the bikes again, and now they're going to be driving Death Road, and I'm going to be in the bus with 3 other who bought that kind of a trip. The bus itself, it's a very, very old, smaller Nissan bus. It's bigger than a van, but smaller than a regular bus, and it's old, and it's I don't know how many times that bus have been on this road. But even though it can be, obviously it's dangerous to drive on a bicycle, it's not without any danger to drive this in a car or in a bus as well, because we can go over the cliff as well. I feel quite safe, but it's really going to be interesting to see. And right now we can't see anything because it's so foggy. Or let me put it another way: we are inside a cloud right now, and so we can't see anything. Right here where I'm standing, there would, under normal circumstances, be an amazing view, I guess, but I cannot see anything. We've just been given a snack and a banana, and then we're gonna take off.
It's 64 kilometers long, and with the steepness, amazing scenery, and the infamous reputation, it makes mountain biking down it a must-do day trip for adventure-seeking visitors to La Paz.
So what happened?
I just fell down, and there are some...
Were you getting close to over the edge?
No. I just pressed the wrong brake on the left hand brake, so it's the front wheel, so it's easily to just.
So you fell over the yeah.
A little bit,
oh.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Do you think you've broken anything?
No. Everything's good. Just bruising.
Yeah. And the pride.
Yeah. Right.
The Radio Vagabond. Gotta keep moving.
I can feel the air, especially when I walk. I can feel. Will I feel a difference up there? Will the air be even lighter?
Yeah. Actually, we still have to climb 1,000 more meters to the top.
Yeah.
Anyways, we spend at the top not really long.
Yeah.
But we do carry some oxygen.
Yeah. Can you tell me how far are you going to be riding the bikes today?
So we started at 4,700 and we're gonna end up at 1,100. It's the same altitude of La Paz. We're gonna descend on bikes, you know. It's 63 kilometers in total we're gonna do by bikes. 32 kilometers of asphalt and 31 kilometers of gravel.
Yeah. The history of the death road. Now there's a new road, but up until 2006, this was the only way from people from La Paz to get to the northern part of Bolivia.
Absolutely, yeah. It used to be the only road. That's why there used to be a lot of traffic on the road, and yeah, unfortunately, a lot of accidents as well.
How dangerous was it?
So, by following the numbers, you can imagine how dangerous it was. 200, 300 deaths per year. So it truly was the world's most dangerous road.
Yeah, I've obviously seen a lot of photos and videos of big trucks going there and thinking there's just a drop to one side, and it looks insane.
Yeah, it's actually quite spectacular. Biggest drop, it's up to 700 meters, and some of them are sheer like a wall, so steep.
Yeah, but now there's a new road, so there's not much car and bus and truck traffic there right now.
Yeah, not as many. Anyways, the road is still open for traffic. Anybody who would like to can go and drive there, but drivers prefer to take the new road, and I understand why, honestly.
Are there any accidents still?
Unfortunately, I think that's part of these activities. Like, this is considered an adventure activity. And yeah, if people is not really following the guide's instructions, or maybe riding not really carefully, it's possible. It can be a very safe ride, but it could be very dangerous as well. Yeah.
I had a friend who did this not that long before my visit, and he had an accident here. He went over the edge, and if he hadn't grabbed onto a branch of a tree, it could have ended much worse. He was a bit of a daredevil that day and had driven ahead of the group, so he had to hold on to the branch for a few minutes until the rest of the group caught up and managed to get a ladder down to him. He broke his collarbone and was hospitalized, but he lived. With that in mind, I chickened out on the mountain bike and decided to do the trip on the bus.
So, I need your full attention, okay? This is, as I said, probably the most important part of today. First of all, I need to talk about these brakes. You know, we have hydraulic disc brakes, so they are really powerful. But honestly, something that you should never do, actually the worst you could do, is to get on panic and then slam on the brakes. If you do that, yeah, of course the bike is gonna stop because you got really good brakes, but your body's not gonna stop, right? You're gonna keep going over the handlebars like Superman. So please use these brakes very softly, very gently, and calmly, because they are very strong. So basically what we're gonna do on our group is to get organized from the fastest to the slowest, so we can minimize the passing on the way. If you're confident, yeah, you can go in the front. If you're not that confident, please wait until being at the back with the last guide. So it's okay to overtake each other, but ideally you communicate first. You should say something like, passing on your left, just to let the other person, because some people is unpredictable. They don't see you coming. They could get on your way.
The other excuse I gave myself was that I didn't know if I would be in good enough shape, plus the thing with the thin air. But come on, it's a 64-kilometer ride, but almost all downhill, with a few small uphills and a couple of flat bits. So it doesn't require a lot of EPO to do that.
There are some trucks going down really slow, painfully slow. That's why probably you will need to overtake them. If you guys need to overtake a truck, always do it by the left side of the road, by the left. Obviously make sure there is not another car coming uphill, right? Because there is a lot of blind corners on this road. I mean, take your time for that, okay? If you can take a quick look on your shoulder as well.
Looking back, I regret that I opted for the bus. I should have done the bike. And besides, I don't know what was most dangerous, being on a bike with good brakes or being on an old bus that I had no control over. The thought of riding a bicycle with a vertical drop beside you seemed more dangerous than it really is. If you take it nice and slow, and don't push yourself and drive like a maniac, and if the equipment and the brakes are good. I went on the trip with a company called Gravity Bolivia, and they seem very professional, with good mountain bikes, with very good brakes. Also, their guide, Noel, gave the riders thorough safety briefings.
The next stop is down there, guys. You see those buildings, those green roofs?
I posted a video from the founder of Gravity Bolivia, Alistair Matthew, about the Death Road ride, and also a few videos and a lot of pictures that I took myself. It's all on the RadioVagabond.com.
The ultimate destination for armchair travelers who are looking for inspiration to get out into the real world and let loose their wanderlust. This is the Radio Vagabond.
At the end of Death Road, we have another adrenaline rush waiting for us. It's Bolivia's best zipline experience that consists of 3 sections that last for a combined 1,550 meters, 5,100 feet. As we're flying more than 400 meters above the stunning Yungas Valley, we reach speeds of up to 85 kilometers per hour, 52 miles per hour. One time with the legs first, and twice in what they call a Superman position, face down and head first. This part is run by Zip the Flying Fox. I put a link to their Facebook page and website in the notes section of this episode. And on the RadioVagabond.com, I put a little video that I recorded from this part too. Come see me fly. We're almost at the end of this episode, supported in part by Hotels25.com, the website that helps you find the best deals on hotel rooms, guest houses, and hostels all around the world in one simple search. You know that. Hotels25.com.
Next week on the Radio Vagabond.
Next week we'll go to... Well, I'll let you decide. Should we A. go on a road trip in the US, B. visit an orphanage in Kenya, C. take a tour around the capital of Nepal, or D. go back to more of my trip to El Salvador that I spoke of before? The choice is yours. Go vote on the Radio Vagabond on Facebook. It's facebook.com/the Radio Vagabond. You will need to vote by tomorrow, Thursday, February 10th, 2022. So if you're listening to this sometime in the future, and I know that probably most of you are, you can ignore this. Instead, just go to the Facebook page. I might do these kind of votes again. Or drop me a line with suggestions on where you would like an episode from. You can reach me on theradiovagabond.com under Contact. We'll be back next week in, well, we'll see. My name is Palabo, and I gotta keep moving. See ya.
Produced by RadioGuru.co.uk.